think one time he was supposed to come in, he didn't show up. And then the night he did, I think it was 3 nights after, it would be in the report. When he did arrive, he showed up with David Kenner, David Chesnoff, and George Kalisis, who were all 3 attorneys who were his representatives, which we thought was weird because Suge Knight was a victim. And I think Reggie Wright Jr. might have been out in the lobby waiting. And then that's when we were finally able to conduct a taped interview of Suge Knight with his 3 attorneys present.
And what were your impressions from that interview?
One Life family, what's up, baby? How everybody doing, man? Yes, we finna get on the Tupac trial. You feel me? And I honestly, man, you know, if y'all like me, man, y'all grew up. Well, I think I was probably like, Pop died in '96, then. So I probably about, what how old was I? That ain't important right now. But I'd have never thought that I would be the age I'm at now, and somebody would be going to trial for the unaliving of Tupac Shakur, one of the greatest rappers of all time. Now, I want y'all to let me know in the comments, biggest smiles of Tupac. Is you a Biggie fan or is you a Tupac fan? Me, I didn't really get into Biggie till he got a little bit, till I got older. And I was like, damn, he really snappy, Biggie. We got that wordplay for you. You say some shit, you be like, what the fuck was that? But, you know, you know, this whole thing is funny to me, it's weird to me because of how it came about. Tupac, I rock with my boy Pac, shout. But Biggie lit too. Biggie is fire. Biggie got them lyrics. But yeah. What going on, chat? What going on, everybody? But I just Biggie. Okay, I ain't no right or wrong. You feel me? I just wanted to know how y'all felt, what y'all like. But I never thought that it would be this much later. What he said, this 20 years later. Nah, it's about 30 years later, ain't it? Man, fuck, Tupac died in '96. This 2026. Man, I'd have never thought I'd see this coming. I thought, and even back then when I was young, man, what going on, Miss Soha? Even back then when Pac lost, like I remember crying, shout. I was a little bit, but I ain't know nothing about no damn. I ain't know nothing about like this type of stuff, crimes and all this. You know what I'm saying? But you were 16. I want to say I was 13. But that seemed a little bit older, you know what I'm saying? But I was maybe so. I guess I was about maybe 13. And I can remember sitting in my mama's living room crying because Tupac was on the line. I love me some Pac, shout. I think, man, I went and got MOB. What is MOB? I don't went and got MOB. You know, Pac went and got Thug Life. I went and got Lil Thug. I thought I was goddamn Tupac. Had a little nose ring and shit. You feel me? But you know, but here we are, man. And like I was finna say, it's crazy how we got here today. And I'm just talking because the trial don't start at 12 o'clock. But I'm gonna go into like some highlights from yesterday. And you know, but from my understanding, this man, Keefe D, ends up locked up on trial because he thought he had immunity. So he went and was doing all these damn interviews, talking. Oh, Reggie Wright, and Orlando Anderson, and Keefe D, and the Muslims, and he just went on a telling spree because he thought he had immunity. Wrote a book. Say, did a nigga wrote a book, didn't he? That thing, you know, put your hand behind your goddamn back. You going to jail today, nigga. And that nigga been in jail since then. I believe he been in jail since the release of that goddamn book. And I believe they gonna use that against his ass in the court of law. One Life family, I want to get into some of these highlights from yesterday, man, so we can get caught up. I didn't get a chance yesterday to really watch the trial because I don't know what the fuck I was doing. So I run around goddamn trying to give me some money, you know, say that. I'm trying to give me some money. I was busy. I meant to tap into it. Didn't get a chance to, but I'm gonna play some of the highlights right now that what I guess happened yesterday. And so that way I can kind of get caught up along with y'all. Did y'all get a chance to check out the trial yesterday, man? Y'all let me know in the comment what y'all thinking so far. Again,
Suge
I haven't had
Knight
a chance to.
it was
Better
not the
check it out
Suge
again.
Knight I expected. Everything, we had done a lot of research in the short time we had been involved, and Suge Knight was not a very timid person in the previous interviews we had seen of him. He was a very
This the detective.
boisterous, in charge kind of guy. He was very timid. And to us, his interview was very practiced, and he was very timid, and
Be mad.
I thought he lied to us. He just didn't know anything.
Your impression was he was withholding information about what happened.
He just basically said he didn't know anything. Couldn't recognize anybody.
Shotty said I was 2.
A few days, or maybe a week even.
Hey, I missed that
Does
part.
there come a point in time when you get contacted by law enforcement in Los Angeles area, whether it be LAPD, LASO, or Compton PD, that assists you in your investigation?
What if you could make a song using only your voice? Let's start with the drums.
Bow, a bow, a bow, a boo, a boo, a boo, a boo.
Tupac
They
Shakur
say
passed away on September 13th. We attended the autopsy, and we were later contacted. Well, I think there was probably some contact with other people within the homicide section. You got to realize there are people higher up than us, but eventually,
During those 2.5 hours, you will learn that the defendant was escalating and planning the retribution for the beating of his beloved nephew. Now, let's be clear. Dwayne Davis did not pull the trigger.
oh shit.
But what he did do
What did he do?
was plan the retaliation for the beating of his nephew. You will learn that Dwayne Davis got the gun.
Oh shit.
You will learn that he got into a white Cadillac.
Uh-huh.
You will learn when the opportunity presented itself for retribution, Dwayne Davis made sure that the shooters were armed and ready to execute their revenge. And remarkably, you will learn that from Dwayne Davis himself. But to understand what happened on September 7th, 1996, on the streets of Las Vegas, we need to go about 275 miles west to the city of Compton, California. What you'll learn is that Compton is about 10 square miles, but in the mid-1990s, those 10 square miles were occupied by over 30 gangs claiming its territory. And important to this case, there are 2 gangs, Mob Piru and the Southside Compton groups. Let's talk a little bit about the Mob Piru.
Pyro.
The Mob Piru is a
Right, he ain't think that they was gonna come.
color red. And you'll hear that Suge Knight, the person who was driving Tupac Shakur that night, grew up in the neighborhood of Mob Piru. But by the mid-1990s, he had become a very successful CEO of the record label Death Row Records. But despite, or maybe because of where he came from, you'll hear that Suge Knight continued to employ Mob Piru gang members as part of Death Row. They would act as unofficial security, and other times they would engage in
What's up, Zoe?
on behalf of Suge Knight. But Death Row in the mid-1990s was one of the most successful record labels around. It had artists such as Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and of course, Tupac Shakur.
Bring your agent into Monday.com.
Yeah, you might be finna go to jail or keep it deep.
ChatGPT and Copilot.
And in 1996, Tupac Shakur was maybe the largest and biggest, most successful rapper around. He had just sold, released All Eyes on Me, a double album that was met with huge success. Additionally, Tupac Shakur was a movie star, having appeared in a number of movies in critically acclaimed roles. He has at times been referred to as an icon. But for the purposes of this case, what you need to know is that Tupac Shakur was not a gangster. He was a hip-hop artist.
Hey, fuck all the bullshit. Keefe D might be finna go to jail. But see, that's why, and I'm gonna just, I like to talk and engage with y'all, so it ain't like we just sitting here watching day shit. But that's why it's important. See, for me, when I hear them opening statements, I already know what's going on. Them opening statements tell you a lot. Now, this man just sat there and said, y'all heard, this man didn't pull the trigger, but he is the person that's responsible for setting up this whole ordeal against Tupac. See, a person that sets up a crime can get more person than the person actually did a crime. Mind you, we got to keep in mind that, from my understanding, I believe everybody that was involved is unalive at that point. Ain't nobody left standing but Keefe D. Somebody gonna have to take that charge. Sorry to tell you that, my boy, but hey, it might be the end of the road for you.
With the law pirate.
Personal opinion.
Now, the other gang that's important to know here is the Southside Compton Crips. And when it comes to Southside,
who?
Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was the leader of the Burris Street faction of the Southside Compton Crips. And while Suge Knight rose to prominence in his neighborhood due to the money that he was bringing in through the music industry, Dwayne Davis rose to prominence in his neighborhood because he was a very successful, large-scale drug trafficker. And you will learn that that is how one moves up in the world of gangs, by bringing in money to the neighborhood. The other thing you'll learn is that Orlando Baby Lane Anderson was his nephew, and also a high member of the Southside Crips. Now, as part of this case, you're going to hear another name, Eric Zip Martin. Now, Eric Zip Martin is not a member of the Southside Compton Crips. In fact, he's based out of New York. He's involved in the drug trade and knows Dwayne Davis as a result of both their involvements in the drug trade. Dwayne Davis from the West Coast, Eric Zip Martin from the East Coast. Okay. And one of the connections that Dwayne Davis gets through his association with Zip Martin is with Sean Puffy Combs, who was then the CEO of Bad Boy Entertainment.
Yeah,
Sean Combs wanted some security when he came out to the West Coast.
Yeah, my boy. You going to jail, shout. I ain't even got to see here. Man, I'm surprised you ain't got a Rico on your ass. They finna goddamn put you on late night playing. Them folk done came out and said that you are the reason why Pac is unalive. You the reason because of the get back for Orlando Anderson. Now, mind you, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a Tupac. I was a Tupac fan. This shit been so long ago. But now when you look at life for what it really is, that's why you can't be putting your hands on folks. You can't be, you will do something in the spare of the moment, right? You might even be intoxicated. I remember my dad used to tell me this shit a long time ago. You might be intoxicated and do something to a person, right? You're not thinking nothing about it because you under the influence or whatever the case may be at the time. So now you goddamn do something to somebody. Now the next day or day after that, you sobered up. You ain't thinking nothing about it. But that person who you did something to ain't forgot about that shit. They still thinking about what you done to them. Now you got this situation, the same thing we had with Tupac. You went in there and jumped on that boy Orlando Anderson. Woo. You were feeling yourself. You in Cali. You thinking these folk got your back. All this shit there. You acting a goddamn fool in these folk casino. Probably alcohol was involved. I don't know. Then You go on about your days. Now, matter of fact, nigga, you ain't even make it to the next goddamn day. Come to think of it, they got your ass that night. See, you're not looking at it like that. You gonna put your hands on somebody, you do something. I had a problem doing this shit like that. Be fine with motherfucker pulling guns on motherfucker doing all kind of shit. And then nigga see your ass that day, and in your mind, you like, damn, that nigga look familiar. Not remembering you just pulled a gun on this motherfucker 2 days ago. You feel me? So, you know, and that's what I'm saying, y'all. Now, they gonna say they were premeditated, and goddamn, it's a possibility that his ass end up in jail. Very good possibility.
He was worried about Mob Piru. He was worried about the members of Death Row Records. And so Dwayne E.P.D. Davis agreed to be around to act as unofficial security for Sean Combs and his artists when they came out west, in order specifically to ensure there are no problems with Mob Piru and Death Row Records. And this took a rivalry between Mob Piru and Southside Compton Crips and escalated.
Southside Compton Crips, y'all.
And those tensions boiled over in the Lakewood Mall in the summer of 1996. There, you'll hear that Trayvon Lane, a member of the Mob Piru associated with Death Row Records, was there with other members of Mob Piru in order to do some shopping. Lakewood Mall was a mall nearby Compton. You'll also hear that baby Lane Anderson, Orlando Anderson, the defendant's nephew, was there. Now, Trayvon Lane that day was wearing a chain with a Death Row medallion. And there was a fight that occurs between the Mob Piru group and the Southside Compton Crips. And at one point, that chain is pulled off Trayvon Lane's neck. Now, what happened to that chain is an issue of much dispute. Not everybody agrees with it. But the act of disrespect of pulling the Death Row chain and the brawl that occurs further escalates this heated rivalry. And what you'll learn is that these two men, Trayvon Lane and Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, they encounter each other again, this time in Las Vegas. So that brings us back up to September 7th, 1996, here in Las Vegas. Again, Mike Tyson is fighting Bruce Seldon. He disposes of him in less than a round, in a round. Doesn't take a full round. And then after the fight, Tupac Shakur, Suge Knight, and the people that are here with, they leave. And among his group is Trayvon Lane.
The agency playbook is gone. Write your own rules with Base 44. The expectation shifted. Clients want more, faster, and they're not compromising. The agencies that keep up are the ones rebuilding how they work. Here's how it looks. A client asks for a landing page. You hand back the landing page, plus a CRM dashboard, workflow automation, and
that is why this fight occurs. Trayvon Lane and the Death Row group sees Orlando Anderson standing by himself, and they decide to attack him in retribution for what happened at the Lakewood Mall. You'll see Orlando Anderson's on the bottom of that group. You see security coming, trying to break this up. And then you'll see Tupac Shakur, Suge Knight, Trayvon Lane, and that group exit the MJ.
I ain't gonna lie, they whooping his ass.
Orlando Anderson was by himself because when Dwayne Davis purchased tickets for the Bruce Seldon fight.
Wait a minute, they go back out down. I ain't never seen a nigga get kicked like that guy now. Yo, it don't matter.
And that is why this fight occurs.
Fuck him all, DJ.
Occurs. Further escalates.
Fuck his ass
this heated rivalry. And what you'll learn is that these two men, Trayvon Lane and Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, they encounter each other again.
When?
This time in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So that brings us back up to September 7th, 1996, here in Las Vegas. Again, Mike Tyson is fighting Bruce Seldon. He disposes of him in less than a round, in a round. Doesn't take a full round. And then after the fight, Tupac Shakur and the people that are here, they leave. And among his group is Trayvon Lane.
Okay.
And that is why
Why
this
what?
fight occurs. Trayvon Lane and the death row group sees Orlando Anderson standing by himself,
Okay.
and they decide to attack him in retribution for what happened at the Lakewood Mall.
Bam!
You
Bam!
see
Bam!
Orlando Anderson's on
Bam!
the bottom of that group. You see security
Hey, man.
trying to break this up. And then you'll see Tupac Shakur, Suge Knight, Trayvon Lane, and that group exit the MGM Grand. Now, Orlando Anderson was by himself.
I ain't gonna hold y'all, shout. On some real street shit. On some real street shit. He might be edgy. If I'm sitting here looking at this video and I'm part of the jury, just like y'all sitting there, I see you in the comments, shout to say, yo, show war, shout to say, damn. If I'm goddamn looking at this video, I could understand why I'm giving you just personally. That motherfucker was kicking this nigga. Bam! Clean his head. This nigga had on a goddamn linen suit. Was that a linen? motherfucker got spunked out by a nigga in a linen suit. Nigga, please. I'd have shot your ass right then. I came up with boom, 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 boom. What the hell am I doing? Boom, boom. What the hell am I doing it? But yo, I came up busting on his ass. Hey, you talking about, nigga, you gonna kick me with some 9 later gators with your lemon pepper steppers? Man, please. I'd have fucked your ass up too. I'll give a damn who you will.
Because when Dwayne Davis purchased the tickets for the Bruce Seldon fight, he got them through a scalper. So everybody that came with Dwayne Davis were seated separately throughout the fight. And so Orlando Anderson was at that time by himself. You'll see that Mr. Shakur, Mr. Knight, and his group leave the MGM Grand. And you'll see that Orlando Anderson, after being held by security, is questioned for a bit, asked if he wants to press charges. He decides he doesn't want to participate in any type of prosecution and that he doesn't need medical attention. Dwayne Davis hears about this beating. And what you will hear is that in his world, there is no question that a response is required. And you will hear from Dwayne Davis what happens next. Because what happened over the next 2.5 hours is something Dwayne Davis would later describe himself in the secret 2008 interview from his attorney's office with the federal task force. And we'll talk about that interview and the circumstances surrounding that later. But we'll hear about what the next 2.5 hours.
Most people have no idea they can get ready to post content the minute they stop recording with Riverside. So I open the Made For You tab and look at all this content. This is all from a single recording. First up, it totally cleaned up my episode. It already has captions, my branding. I hated cutting short from content all the time, and now I just...
So what we learn is that Dwayne Davis is upset about the beating of his nephew. And frankly, no, that's not an unusual response. What's unusual is the next steps Dwayne Davis takes. Unusual for the normal person, maybe not unusual for in-gang culture. Dwayne Davis decides he is going to organize a retaliation, that this beating cannot go unanswered. Then he runs into a person named Zip Martin. Remember the Zip Martin that was a connection with Bad Boy Entertainment from New York? And Zip Martin tells him that he has a gun and that he can come help him out.
Well, hey, where you go to? What do you tell Zip right then? You tell Zip, hey, we're gonna go handle this shit or whatever?
Yeah, like, y'all want us to come? Like, you know what I'm gonna do? It was, they gonna get 662 Club.
Who said that?
Everybody.
Everybody up there?
Yeah, everybody. You want to come?
Well, how do you know that Zip's got a gun? Did she tell
It
you?
was in the lobby, in the lobby.
Did you ask her? Do you have one or just told you, yeah, I got
Yeah, I only asked you need help. I said, like, yeah, okay, cool.
I don't know what you.
Yeah.
So later, Dwayne Davis organizes 2 vehicles to go over to the 662 Club. Before that, he gets the gun from Zip Martin. He goes out to his Mercedes-Benz, gets the gun from Zip Martin, and then after some time, he assembles 2 cars to go to 662 to violently confront Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight for the beating of his nephew. And you'll hear that Dwayne Davis wasn't initially in the white Cadillac. He goes into a van, and Orlando Beatty Lane Anderson, they go in a white Cadillac, and they go to Club 662, waiting for Tupac Shakur, waiting for Suge Knight, waiting for this violent confrontation. And what you'll learn is that Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight don't show up while they're there.
We went out to 626, they didn't show up. We waited about 15, 20 minutes, they didn't show up. So it's like, let's go get some liquor. We stopped at the liquor store. I got out of the van, they had to jump in the Cadillac.
So what you hear Dwayne Davis say is he got out of the van and goes into the Cadillac. And the plan at that point is to go to a liquor store, get some booze, and then go back to the Las Vegas Strip and party. What the original intention was before Orlando Anderson was beaten at the MGM Grand. But on the way back to the Las Vegas Strip, they see a caravan of cars. And that caravan included Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight.
For just $67, you can generate as many videos as you want and never have to worry about showing your face on camera or using complex editing tools. With only a few clicks with Toonbee, you can generate a high-converting video, just like the one you're watching right now. But instead of telling you about how amazing Toonbee really is, why don't I just show you? Let's say we want a bee explaining.
And in that white Cadillac, before the shooting occurs, Dwayne Davis explains that the driver is Terrence T. Brown. In the rear driver's side is DeAndre Dre or Big Dre Smith. In the rear passenger side is Orlando Baby Lane Anderson. And Dwayne Davis himself, KBD, is in the front passenger side. And this is how Dwayne Davis explains the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Yeah. These little liquor stores right there. Then we came up Harlem at the Long Lake Boulevard. And shit. Here they come that BMW like in your car. And bros, Tupac. We like, there you go. Made the U-turn. We wasn't supposed to make it. Just wanted the U-turn. They was in a little lane. We just pulled up on the side, checked every car to see where they was.
So what directed your attention to him was some girl shouting at Tupac?
Tupac, he gave his son away. Otherwise, he would have gone away. He always had what you want to do. He got
You did a U-turn, so then you pull alongside of it. You guys are in the car. Have you already handed him the gun at this point, or at what point you handed him the gun?
I thought he was going to pull on my side. You know, that's one of them neck on the scalp, man. You know, he pulled on his side.
So you were fitting a glass if you had to, or you were just?
Yeah, if you would have been on my side, I would have.
Okay. So you hand the gun to the back seat.
Yeah.
You can hear my name.
Yeah, Dre was like, no. And I ain't like, dude, fuck.
So what you hear Dwayne Davis admit that as they see Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight driving to Club 662, Dwayne Davis, along with Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson, decide to make a U-turn, confront Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight. Dwayne Davis has the firearm. It's a firearm he got from Eric Von Zip Martin, and then he passes it to the back. Dwayne Davis says that if they were on his side, if Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight were on his side of the vehicle, he would have shot them himself. But because they were on the other side, he handed it to DeAndre Smith. DeAndre Smith, according to Dwayne Davis, did not want to shoot at that time. So Orlando Anderson shot into that car. Dwayne Davis explains this over and over again.
Literally on the street.
Okay, Wayne starts blasting. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you. Are you nervous?
I just know he does something to say, you know.
When he looks over at you, and then, Tupac's busy getting shot. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
In the
of
back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening
I
inside
can
that
jump
car?
in. I see the bullet going to shoot. Yeah, I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead. He was scraping or something in the head or something.
A piece of glass went into his neck right here.
And he had a thing in the head.
A little gray.
I thought he was dead.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, you guys stopped the two girls, you both stopped the car and let them get off?
Yeah. And we made the right.
Okay, but he stopped what you said, like, and let off.
And we made the right and some brawler, see where he was following. Stupid bitches. We shot their window around and they stopped.
So Tupac's trying to jump in the back seat. And what should we?
Nothing. He couldn't really duck because he was too big, you know. Yeah.
You write the words. What if you could hear them as a song? Go to suno.com, switch to custom mode, and paste in your lyrics. Then describe the sound. I'll go with soulful R&B ballad, emotional vocals, piano driven. Hit create. Suno turns your writing into 2 fully produced songs. Your words sung.
One other thing Dwayne Davis talks about during the murder of Tupac Shakur is that there's a car full of women. I think he calls them broads at one point. Car full of women who are there as well. And you're going to hear from one of those women. And what she's going to tell you is that she disagrees slightly with Mr. Davis's rendition of facts. They were, in fact, communicating with Suge at Tupac's car, but they weren't talking to Tupac, they were talking to Suge. And what she sees the white Cadillac flee, and then what Dwayne Davis interprets as them chasing her, she'll tell you is them just panicking and trying to get away. But she will say they inadvertently follow Dwayne Davis and the other people in the white car as they are fleeing. After Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur's vehicle is shot, Suge Knight makes a U-turn and heads back to the Las Vegas Strip. The car ultimately can go no further and stops. Police arrive, medical arrive, and you will hear that Suge Knight was grazed in the head and had some glass going in his neck. He ultimately survives those injuries and is released fairly quickly. You'll also hear that Tupac Shakur was shot multiple times, that he was brought to UMC, and that 6 days later, he succumbed to those injuries. And within 24 hours, the Cadillac and the assailants are back in Compton. They stay the night, and they drive right home as though nothing happened. But a war followed them back to Compton. Because while people were afraid to come forward to police, the police knew and the streets knew that Southside Compton Crips were responsible for this murder. And the war that follows in Compton is a bloody one. You'll hear that Mob Piru and Southside Crip members start shooting at each other. Within 10 days, 3 people are killed. A number of people are shot, including an 11-year-old girl. And what you'll also learn is that none of those cases were prosecuted. Why? Because in this context, in the gang context of this, the combination of gangs and guns is scary. And in this world, silence means survival. The one person who has a hard time being silent is Dwayne Davis. You're going to hear from 1998 to 2023, Dwayne Davis has given a number of statements regarding this case. So, as early as 1998, Davis spoke to the FBI. He admitted he was in Las Vegas during Tupac's murder, but he denies being responsible. Then in 1999, Davis speaks to the FBI again. And these aren't interviews that are focused on the Tupac Shakur murder. These are interviews regarding drug transactions and drug trafficking. But he does say that Tupac does come up, and Dwayne Davis admits to being in Las Vegas for Tupac Shakur's murder. Says he wasn't involved, but he was mad about the fact that Orlando Anderson was beaten, and that his plan was to handle it in Compton had Tupac survived. Then in 2008, the interview of clips we've heard today, in a secret interview with the federal task force, Davis admits to his role in the murder of Tupac Shakur. And we do need to talk a little bit about this 2008 federal task force. Because what this task force is investigating is not the murder of Tupac Shakur. What this task force is investigating is another rapper's murder. A rapper by the name of Christopher Wallace, somebody who is known as Biggie Smalls, so the notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace got murdered 6 months after Tupac Shakur was killed. And there was some allegation that the LAPD might have been involved. So a federal task force was formed to determine what happened to Christopher Wallace. And the interesting thing about the murder of Christopher Wallace is that Christopher Wallace is killed leaving a party in LA. Also at that party, Dwayne Davis. Christopher Wallace there was a suspect vehicle that involved a Chevy SS Impala, and Dwayne Davis happened to own a Chevy SS Impala. Now, as a result of that, the task force decides, well, let's look at Dwayne Davis. And the thing we know about Dwayne Davis is that he trafficked narcotics. And so they were able, through a CI and an undercover, to have transactions. As a result, Dwayne Davis now has a case, a big trafficking case. And so the federal task force approaches Dwayne Davis and his attorney, and they say, hey, look, we want information regarding the murder of Christopher Wallace. That is what we are trying to investigate. And what Dwayne Davis says is, I don't have any information about that thing, but I can tell you about what we did. I can tell you about Tupac. And that's what he does. He tells a federal task force that that's about his involvement, what you've heard, his orchestration of the murder of Tupac Shakur. That secret conversation, that proffer, was secretly recorded and released later. In 2009, Davis is being so helpful to federal authorities that he actually flies out to New York to try and get Zip Martin to implicate himself in the Tupac Shakur murder. Zip Martin at that time was dying of cancer, was out of the game, and really did not engage with Dwayne Davis. In 2009, though, Dwayne Davis gives an interview to Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Detective Dan Long. Now, Dwayne Davis is more guarded in that interview. It is a different setting than the interview of 2008. It's not a secret proffer agreement. But Dwayne Davis does admit a number of things. That he was in Las Vegas, that he was mad about Orlando Anderson getting beaten, that he was the boss, that he was in the white Cadillac, that he procured the firearm that ultimately killed Tupac Shakur. Then, in 2011, the landscape changes. Because in 2011, Greg Kading, the guy who was leading the task force in 2008, the guy who organized the secret proffer between Dwayne Davis and the federal task force, he leaves law enforcement and decides he's going to publish a book about his investigation into Biggie Smalls the guy who was killed 6 months after Tupac, and Tupac Shakur. And what he puts in the book is that Dwayne Davis confessed to the murder of Tupac Shakur. The book tells the story about Davis' admission, about himself, but it also tells the story of Dwayne Davis telling about his nephew's involvement in the murder, about Big Dre's involvement in the murder, about Terrence Brown's involvement in the murder. And this is a problem for Dwayne Davis, because that meeting was supposed to be secret. And now his cooperation with federal authorities.
Hollywood, what's up, baby?
Not only that, great.
Hey, Hollywood. Yeah, man. What's going on? My boy Top Light done pulled up in this thing, man. We got the One Life family in the building, man. If you part of the One Life, man, drop a W in the chat, man, or something like that, man. I don't even know what the W would be for. Do he did? No, he did, or do he think he did? Okay, so I was playing the opening statements, Top Life, and so goddamn, basically what they saying is he set the whole thing up. You see what's going on. They saying that he set the whole thing up and he the reason why this happened in retaliation of his nephew, which is Orlando Anderson. And yeah, so basically, I believe he's going to jail. I mean, he's already been in jail. I think they're gonna find him guilty for the unaliving of Tupac.
Is now profiting
Personally.
of Dwayne Davis's life story. So, in 2017, Dwayne Davis decides to go public. He's approached by the producers of a show called Death Row Chronicles that appears on BET.
See, did what got him fucked up.
This is just a small portion of what he says is his motivation.
Here's what got him fucked up right here.
I was a kingpin drug dealer. I'm the only one alive that really continued the story about the Tupac Shakur. People have been pursuing me for 20 years. Newspapers, magazines. I'm coming out now to tell the story because I got cancer. I got nothing else to lose. All I care about now is the truth.
Dwayne Davis says, all I want to do now is tell the truth. And in the 2017 public interview, he's a little evasive, but he admits to being the boss. He admits to being in the white Cadillac. And he admits to be part of the murder of Tupac Shakur. And when he says he's the only person that can tell what happened, he's right. Because by 2017, Terrence Brown is deceased. DeAndre Smith is deceased. Orlando Baby Lane Anderson is deceased.
I told y'all a lot before we're gone.
In an unrelated incident. Orlando Anderson was murdered in an unrelated incident. And DeAndre Smith died from health issues.
Died from what?
Remarkably, in 2019, Dwayne Davis then decides he's going to publish his own book. And with regards to the book, it is certainly a lot of self-aggrandizement. But again,
y'all thought I was playing.
The core remains. He was mad about Orlando Anderson about the beating of Orlando Anderson, his nephew. He was in Las Vegas. He got the gun. He was in the white Cadillac, and he handed the gun to the sheriff. And what you'll notice is a constant thing that always goes through these statements is Dwayne Davis's visceral anger at Tupac Shakur for putting hands on his nephew. In the book, he says, them jumping on my nephew gave us the ultimate green light to do something to their ass. Then Dwayne Davis decides that he's going to do public interviews regarding his role in the murder of Tupac Shakur.
So you ended up getting in the car with Baby Lane and them? Yeah, the car with them, yeah. We running to them, went up to the light on Sunset and Amigo, and dude, we acted like he was in a parade or something, and that BMW hanging out the window, hey, it's Tupac, it's Tupac. And them bitches, shit, they was hollering for him. Yeah, they were that motherfucker. They came up on the side of him. Shit.
Davis's public admissions mirror his private life. He admits to being a leader of Southside Crips. He admits to the significance of the fight over the death row chain at the Lakewood Mall. He admits to being in Las Vegas the night of the fight. He admits to being angry that Tupac stomped Orlando Anderson at the MGM. He admits that he got Tupac in a 6.62. He admits that he got a Glock 40 from Eric Zip Martin for the purposes of hunting Tupac. He admits that he was in a white Cadillac with his gang members looking for Tupac. He admits to seeing Tupac in a black BMW and then changing directions, making that U-turn to confront Tupac and Shakur. He admits to putting the gun he obtained that night in the back seat of the vehicle so the shooters could shoot. And again, what remains, even as late as 2020, 2021, 22, is Dwayne Davis's visceral anger at Tupac Shakur.
He didn't, my nephew never jumped on no fucking Tupac. Come on, man. Tupac was wrong with two motherfucking shoes. I mean, don't you think he was wrong? Honestly.
I mean, yeah, I think he could have, reacted in a better way.
Listen, you don't think that man is wrong?
He could have reacted in a better way, I guess.
I'm talking, Vlad is fucking biggest fan. He admitted that man is wrong, man.
I mean, he was wrong, man, but that was only done out of loyalty, man.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. But he never jumped, my nephew didn't jump on him. He jumped on my nephew was a kid, man. My nephew was a fucking kid. He was a grown-ass man, too. You know what I'm saying? He was a fucking kid, dude. That's why he had on the channel. He's a fucking kid, dude. You know what I'm saying? They was wrong. My nephew never jumped on him. They jumped on my nephew. My nephew didn't throw a punch, man. Shit was wrong, dude. Jumped on the fucking kid, dude.
And this anger is not just demonstrated publicly, but you will hear as recently as 2024, privately, in a conversation with his son. He talks about his feelings about Tupac Shakur, nearly 30 years after the murder. Years later, that is the visceral anger that Dwayne Davis had for Tupac Shakur. It did it in 2.5 hours. He took care of what he thought was the proper response. And 28 years later, he still is angry about what Tupac did. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac Shakur publicly, on camera, participated in a humiliating beating of Dwayne Davis's nephew, Orlando Anderson. And Dwayne Davis knew that in his world, that required a response. And over the years, in private interviews and public statements, and even in private calls, Dwayne Davis has repeatedly told us over and over again about the anger he felt and his own role in the revenge drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur. And now, nearly 30 years later, we're going to ask you to finally hold Dwayne Davis accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kowal. Mr. Stamps, do you wish to give your opening statement at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Wait a second.
Of course, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Yeah. I think this is the immaculate.
You got it, or do you want IT to assist you?
I think I got it. This is it, right?
Whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. We spent a lot of time, I think, when we were picking a jury to determine who would be the right jurors for a case like this. Obviously, we want people who are going to reserve judgment until the end, but really look at the evidence with a critical eye. Now, what the state has just told you what they believe to be the evidence in this case. But really, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself if what they're saying is really truth or fiction, fact or fiction. I don't know if some of you recall, but I had asked the question specifically about what you were holding in your hands. And right now, for instance, you're all holding notepads and pens. That would be a fact, right? And in this case, for instance, I had asked before about the idea of, I can just do this, right? Microphone. I'd ask some of you if that microphone was buried and dug up 30 years from now, would it still be a microphone? The answer is yes. And the reason why that's important is because in this case, what they are telling you, they're representing it to be a fact.
Customer service can be overwhelming with endless inquiries and delayed responses, but Bold Desk makes it easy to manage support effortlessly. With Bold Desk, effortlessly manage customer inquiries, provide instant support through live chat, and keep track of every interaction all in one place. With real-time analytics and team insights, Bold Desk keeps you ahead and optimize your support operation.
When it really is fiction. And it's up to you to determine what the facts are in this case. Now, I'm going to give you a timeline here for you to understand just a little bit of how this is going to work, because there's so much evidence in this case that we have to sort of compartmentalize some things. And what I've done is really just sort of focused on the 3 detectives that work this file from beginning to now. First detective you will hear about is Detective Becker. He works the file. He's the original detective on the scene. Detective Long takes over the case for about 15 years or so, and then it ends with Detective Mogg, who presents this to the grand jury in 2023. But why this timeline is relevant is because you have to see the span of time for yourself. 30 years. And ask yourself this, what facts do they have after 30 years? Now, Detective Becker does what every homicide detective does when he arrives on scene. He's assigned to the case. He starts his investigation. At that particular time, though, Tupac Shakur was not dead. He was critically injured. He was at UMC. And it isn't until 6 days later that he passes away. But
bullshit.
Becker starts his initial investigation because it's pretty serious.
I call bullshit.
As a result, he just.
What's up, Chet? Okay, listen to me, Chet. I love y'all, man. Listen to me, y'all.
On a Saturday night.
I was over there getting prepared. I'm having a salad. You know what I'm saying? One Life family, what going on, One Life? Hey, man, listen. We still rocking and rolling, baby, and I love each and every last one of y'all. Shouts out to that one dope black lady, man. That's my partner since day one. Shouts out to you and congratulations on everything you got going on, sister. A lot of love for you, shouty. You know I rock with you long way. You can still hit the line anytime you want to. My boy Top Life is in the building. That's the only moderator I got. We've been partners in with a little bit of boy. Hollywood, you remember when we got there crying over Tupac Shakur? Do you remember that? You did, me. When the Bible got there and then don't got there, my love. What is this you sent me, baby? Thank you. I appreciate that love. I really appreciate the love. I don't know what it means though. But thank you so much for that. Love you, baby. We got there. We locked in, twin. We locked all the way in. We've been locked in for years. But yeah, so they getting ready to jump off the trial for today, y'all. Y'all come on in. We're gonna hang out, watch it. I'm looking good on camera, like goddamn hitting everything like that right there. You see it? Yup, cleaned up and everything back in the living room and shit. But y'all know how it is. Y'all know how it is. Where my joint at? I think they getting ready to crank up for the day. Let's check it out and goddamn see what's going on. That's my baby right there, son. Hey, email me so I can send you the new number. But yeah.
Well, I think there was probably some contact with other people within the homicide section. You got to real.
See that what he said? He talking about them higher ups. Hold on. No, no. All right, this day too. Y'all ready to get into it? It's day 2. They getting ready to turn up, baby. They ain't got started yet, y'all. They waiting to get everybody in there. Didn't they go in jail with it all that? All that ain't going to jail. Put your hands on no goddamn Tupac Shakur, motherfucker. You don't goddamn want to lie, one of the greatest rappers of all time, and think you gonna get away with it, nigga. We don't give a fuck if it's 40 years. yeah, we slide for Tupac. Thug life, motherfucker. Thug life. Bring the hell a fucking baby. How the fuck you gonna kill a nigga made a song Brenda got a goddamn baby? Dated Jada Pinkett on a different fucking world. Lock this motherfucker up. Lock his ass up. Tupac would still be here today if it weren't for him. Even Puffy is in jail. Hello. Even P. Diddy is in jail. Lock his fucking ass up. And that's what they were talking about too. Oh, baby. When I was talking about that, when I was just playing that last video, they were talking about how his dumb ass went on that goddamn TV show. I'm the only one to tell y'all about the Tupac. Then you wrote a book. You deserve to be your stupid ass in jail. Right along with the rest of them dumb motherfuckers. Hello, it's me. But I'm gonna tell y'all some real shit now. You got some people that just don't give a fuck. The nigga so old and out of goddamn control, he might just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. We're on record in State versus Davis C377407.
Yeah, well, they get ready to get started. I hear him on my microphone.
Okay, let's bring the jury in.
Hey, bring the jury in. Let's rise. Everybody rise. Ain't it amazing how we could sit back and smoke weed while this nigga getting fucking his life judged by 12? I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Listen, them 12 gonna judge you, and then 6 gonna carry your ass back to the goddamn facility. Hello.
You may be seated.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a restful evening. We are still in the state's case in chief. So at this time, I'm going to turn to Mr. DiGiacomo. Who's your next witness that we're going to be calling?
Who the witness?
Start recording and then call the witness.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, all right. Oh, shit. It's over with. They got witnesses and shit. They got witnesses and shit. Y'all nigga going to jail. What they say, Miller? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, okay, I'll go back and ask you a question on why you was in the parking lot structure.
Okay,
And then you heard
ask you a question again.
commotion around on the south.
While you were there in the
Okay.
parking structure,
Uh-huh.
you heard the commotion, people running to be south on Fairfax or back in towards the parking area.
I agree.
did you recognize anybody that my concern is that may have been further north on Fairfax on a sidewalk, may have seen the shooting or heard something? Anybody that you saw that
I seen running.
Yeah.
They was standing there with me, Keyshawn Johnson, the football player.
Okay.
And Ricky Bell.
Wait, Keyshawn Johnson? You talking about for the Buccaneers?
And they were with you, or they were?
They were standing there with me. He was waiting on his
Oh, they didn't run around the corner. They were with you anyway.
They was
Oh,
they was waiting on the green Benz. This green Benz. And my car came out the hill, and we just drove out.
Yeah, but you made sparks go around the corner. You didn't recognize anybody that you might know, singer or any actor. Okay. That's. Yeah, we saw Keyshawn and some of the pictures that were taken inside, and Ricky.
Yeah, I was on those pictures with him. I had on the blue jumpsuit.
You know, now that I see you in person, because my impression you were like 6'2".
Tall guy.
Yeah, right. And
thought you were bigger.
Yeah, I did. Well, no, that's why I said. Now that I'm looking at you, I think I do remember seeing you.
Yeah.
I need y'all to pull up here on the panel with me. Todd Lyfe and goddamn Dope Black Lady. Cause I'm trying to pick up what they laying down, but they going too fast for me.
Okay. What about outside in the parking lot where you're either parking your car and coming to, or going back to your car? You park the server there? Okay. Not yet.
What are you talking about?
In the parking structure, you see some people running
towards the, coming in from Fairfax.
From Fairfax.
Don't Fairfax run into Figueroa.
So and you, from there, are you in your car this time, or are you outside?
I'm outside.
Are you near your car?
No, they was pulling up cars. Everybody's waiting.
Oh, okay. You waiting for valet to bring your car up. Correct. Okay. When the car comes up, I mean, when was the first time you heard that Biggie had been shot? Was it there in the parking structure?
In the parking structure.
What people were saying, Biggie's been shot, or any particular person tell you?
Biggie.
They were just running. The crowd was saying, the whole crowd. Biggie got shot. Biggie. Like, what?
Okay.
I thought we were talking about Tupac.
By as you're leaving, directed by a police officer.
Podcasting shouldn't stress you out.
I thought we were talking about Tupac, but it's all good. Okay, I'm interested. I want to know.
High quality podcast. Record
I would like to know.
Edit with a prompt, and publish instantly.
Okay. You left. You're going down. What did you go all the way through Wilshire Boulevard?
No, I went made a right.
You made a right time. Turn on Wilshire.
Okay.
Okay, so you're northbound Fairfax.
He going northbound on Fairfax.
Right turn. So it would be eastbound then, or westbound.
Eastbound.
It's eastbound. If you made it right there, eastbound, stupid.
Eastbound. Eastbound Wilshire. Okay. Then
Wilshire.
Did you go all the way down Wilshire, or
Wilshire, nigga.
was there another turn that you made?
He made that left. No, he made another.
Right.
He made that right there.
Then where'd you go?
To the 10. Then went to the road.
10. You went to 10 freeway. Okay, and the direction.
Oh, hold on. Am I? Hey, let's say y'all catch me or hype me up, right? Okay. What I'm thinking that I'm understanding is right now they're playing the audio of the driver from that night who is unalive, because out of the 4 people, only Keefe D is still alive. So that's why the Prosecutor said we're gonna play the audio first before we get into the witness. The witness is finna cooperate with what the fuck this audio said. Hello. Okay. I'm picking up what you're laying down, gang. I'm picking it up now. All right. I was like, what the fuck is y'all talking about?
You were at Jerry's Deli, about what time were you there?
Jerry met before. Yeah, no, conference court. I had about,
What time did I get there?
Yeah.
Oh,
remember,
it was,
I was on the,
Oh, I'm sorry.
at the Southside Slater in, Royce Jones was his attorney and.
Okay. Well, you and I were speaking with
That's
some
right,
defense
that's
attorneys.
right.
I think, Mr. Fall, you were there.
Probably so.
Fred and I were talking about
November.
homicide investigation.
Yeah.
I think you were there.
Yeah, I think so. Rags, Ragsdale.
Yeah.
I was just searching my mind.
And your son went to elementary school with my son when you lived in Phillips Ranch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I remember seeing you there.
That's true, that's true.
You no longer live in Phillips Ranch.
See, this that bullshit. He ain't not talking. Shawty, you got nigga been snitching since the 90s, 80s.
I didn't say that. I probably
Okay, just want to.
It's crazy,
What
bro.
time do you think you got to? What time did you leave the parking structure approximately? Do you recall?
Oh.
He ain't not talking without an attorney.
Oh, yeah, I was watching the watch.
Okay, you said you arrived at the party about 11 or 11:30. You were inside the party for about an hour. And then.
Y'all mean to tell me that shit don't sound like Menace to Society? So you got there about 11:45. So you bought the beer at 11. It was definitely 11:45. You see how you get fucked up? You see how you get fucked up? Yeah, man.
Okay, so that would either make
Really
it
going on now.
12 or 12:30. And when you left the party, so, and okay, driving time from there to Jerry's Deli.
I agree, Hollywood.
They were right around what, 1? About 1 o'clock, would you say?
Yeah.
1 a.m. Okay.
I'll say about 1:30.
Okay. Between 1 a.m. and 1:30.
Yeah, about 1:30.
Okay, and how long were you at Jerry's Deli?
No, 10 hours.
Okay. About 1 hour, so that would make it at this point.
Got home about 2:30.
Okay. Well, that means if you were at the deli about 1 hour, it would be 2 a.m. to 2:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you got to drive from the marina. Where you went?
I dropped Jerry off in the same area.
Okay, then you dropped off.
Wonder Mike.
Wonder Mike. And then I'm assuming Wonder Mike and Wendell live pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay. Wendell. In Compton. About what time would you estimate that to be? If you left Jerry's Deli.
I got home about 2:30.
Okay. 2:30. 2:30 arrived approximately 2:30.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the watch though.
All the times from right.
Okay. And when you got home, was there anybody up, like your mom or brother or sister or girlfriend or her mom?
Her mom came open the door for me.
Okay. So Paula's mom opened the door.
Yeah.
Was she up already, or was she? You had to knock on the door.
I rang the door. I had on blue sweats.
Okay. And then,
Blue and with the white, you know, the Michael Jordan jumpsuit we got, that blue one. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. Okay, when she opened the door, did you talk with her? I mean, did you tell her anything about the events that happened, like Biggie had been shot or anything?
She's 73 years old, you know.
Oh, so,
You know.
So she was the only one up at that time?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you go hit straight to your bedroom and go to bed?
Yeah.
Did you talk
I'm not gonna hold you. I don't really understand it either.
Upon entering the house, did you speak to anybody, either?
That's why I wanted to come up here and watch it with y'all. But I loves Bob, shout it. I feel what you're saying. Cause I really don't understand what the fuck they talking about either. You feel me? That's why I dropped the link, goddamn. Y'all can pull up on me, cause maybe y'all understand, because from me it seemed like they talking about when he found out Biggie was unalive. By the end, Biggie died on my birthday. I tell you that for sure. Biggie died on my birthday, March 9th. I don't know where September the 7th got it. I don't know, but I guess when we at our element, sometimes it's like watching a movie. You got to go back and watch that shit again and be like, okay, I guess this is where you going with it. But right now, I am completely lost, just like you, baby. I promise you I am. I don't know what the fuck they talking about.
In person or on the phone at all?
Do anybody know what they talking about? Please let me know in the chat. What they talking about? What is this?
Paul slept in the same room together?
Yeah.
Okay. So you told Paul?
Say Biggie got killed. I don't know whether he got killed or not. You know.
So, did you talk to anybody else besides Paula?
Just us two.
Okay, Wonder Mike and Weedle.
Yeah, we was like, dang, that's messed up. You know.
Okay, from the time you were at was about ready to leave the party, to the time you arrived home, the only people you talked to were Wonder Mike, Wendell, Paula's mom. You may not have said anything to Paula's mom. Okay, and then you talked to Paula. Was there anybody else that you talked to?
This shit don't make no sense.
So before we left, Keyshawn said he was going to some other party, and I'm going home.
Okay, which party was that?
I don't know. You know.
I don't know what party that was. Did Keyshawn ask you to go to that, or?
No, he just said he was going to the party.
Which party was that? Was this another?
They talking about Keyshawn. They said Keyshawn Johnson, right?
Okay, do you know?
I'm saying though, they said Keyshawn Johnson. I'm making sure we talking about number 19 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 18-19 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You talking about Keyshawn Johnson, the wide receiver. Is that why that nigga got out the league so early? Cause I always wonder what the fuck happened to Keyshawn Johnson. At one point he was doing that commentary shit, but nigga, we didn't know that you was involved in the murder of Tupac, did we? I ain't know that. Keyshawn Johnson, nigga. All right.
Who held that party? Was it a star that had the party, or?
Diddy. It was a Diddy party.
Some mansion or something.
At a mansion?
Yeah.
It was a Diddy party.
And up there where the matches be. In Beverly Hills or Hollywood, wherever. I don't know. He just said he's going to a party.
He was going to the Diddy party. We know that now because of the Diddy trial.
You have no idea where that party was.
No, I don't mean to rush, but I do have the appointment downtown at 2.
Okay. If we want to talk to Keith in the future, we'll call you.
Sure. And also,
yes, sir.
I have a key sister-in-law. Her name is Gina Davis.
He said that police have been going to her house, knocking at her door, looking for her, and she has nothing to do with this thing. She expressed she expressed concern about, work getting around her. She's wanted for. So if I told her,
Where does she live? Let me ask you first.
I said it in Norwalk.
Norwalk.
Oh,
So I said I was gonna check with you guys if you guys wanna talk
Cooper
about
came over there.
not.
Cooper's over
Yeah, he's been over windows, he's been everywhere.
Yeah. So Norwalk? Yeah, it's in Norwalk.
Long Beach or
I
Norwalk.
think that's Norwalk.
Have you talked to Detective Cooper?
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone, he said, man, we know you ain't did it, but we think you can clear up the air or something. I said, man, I can't know it.
When was that? When did you speak to Detective Cooper?
That was, the day that you and him were over our house.
Pardon me? The day?
You were there when, you remember y'all were there? Yeah.
Oh, you talked to him?
I called him that day.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, now the point with Gina Davis is that I told her I'll check with you guys. If Detective Cooper goes there looking for her, she's not gonna talk to Detective Cooper.
This is crazy.
If someone wants to talk to her, just call me.
Okay.
I'll make her available.
Okay.
But if someone goes there without,
Right.
being clear, she's not gonna talk to her anymore.
Okay. So we have 15 people working on this.
Yeah, but I was just on the parking garage, man. I didn't see nothing or nothing. All I did was her.
Okay.
You.
The first thing we'll get into. Okay, this is this is the museum right here. This is the parking structure. This is Fairfax going north. This is the street. You said you were going south on Fairfax, then you pulled into the parking lot when you first got there?
Legal turn, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Give me a ticket, but don't take it right now.
You said that it's not a traffic stop.
I'm ready to hear it, right? Okay, you mentioned turn in here.
Yeah.
And you said, was it valet park?
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
the valet pulled up in here and the man was waiting right here with the valet.
Okay, so you got out here, then you went up
There.
to the park.
There's a lot of people there.
Right.
Taco Pass, went on in there.
Okay. Now, when you came out the same way?
Same way.
Okay, down this door.
Now, it was the stairs with the rails.
Right.
We were standing right here.
Okay. When you came out, was Big E down here already?
Yeah, Big E was in front. He was getting in their car.
Okay, they were parked here in front?
Yes.
Okay.
Both of them was suburban.
Right, okay, both suburbs. And you know which one Big E got into?
He got in the front one. And, the boy got in the back one. Then, Jermaine Dupree and them was behind him too.
Who was? Go ahead.
Jermaine Dupree, the little guy,
This nigga done said Jermaine Dupree.
Damian?
Okay. Hold on. Slow down. You got too much goddamn ketchup on your hot dog, animal. Listen. So this is the motherfucker that were doing the driving and following when they took Biggie at, cause he's telling all the locations and everything that was going on. This man just said goddamn Jermaine do motherfucking P. The nigga you talking about, the nigga that was fucking Janet Jackson, Chris Cross, applesauce, Escape. What the fuck was Jermaine Dupree? Oh Lord. I'm trying to tell y'all motherfuckers some shit for sure. It's a lot finna come out, and you know what? I don't know if I want to cover this case. I don't know if I want to cover this motherfucking trial, cause baby, this man just named Jermaine Dupree. Name dropping like a motherfucker. That nigga said Jermaine Dupree. That nigga, he froze up. Then the investigator, the detective, whoever he talked to, gonna say it's okay. You can say it. Jermaine Dupree. Jermaine do fucking so death. Lil Bow Drake. This is fucking ridiculous. Man. And you know what? Keefe D know what he doing. He's doing this shit to expose the other motherfucking snitches. And these niggas in there telling on guys, shout out, we don't win from Keyshawn Johnson, Tampa Bay Buccaneer receiver, to Jermaine Dupree. So deaf goddamn. And I know Jermaine. I call him Jermaine.
Some of them dudes there, I was hollering at them, whoop, and they left out. Me and Keyshawn was standing over here by the cars here.
Jermaine. Jermaine.
Ran in here, I didn't even hear no shots. I just see the crowd running. I was like, man.
Okay, had you received your car yet?
No.
Okay, so you were still doing
Waiting
around.
on the car, yeah.
Did you see them leave the area? Biggie and his entourage? You see him pull out and.
Not really. I just seen a lot of cars just leaving.
Okay, so you saw them there and you just continued over.
Over here in my car, yeah.
Okay, and then approximately how long do you think it was when you saw them take off? That you saw these people come cattle rustling back in there?
Between the 5 and 10 minutes. It was quick.
And then that's when it comes running around here. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you in your car or are you still waiting for it?
I'm still waiting.
Okay. How long did it take them to get your car? I'm talking it's not either side of the crowd and I'm trying to do the egress and egress out.
They pulled over Keyshawn's first. Then they pulled over mine.
Okay.
We, you know.
Who?
Okay, so you were inside here, and when you leave, did you go out this way or did you?
Come out this way.
Okay,
And now we're
exactly.
standing right here, this way you're standing right here, people out.
Okay.
You making sure they go right though.
Okay.
You know, because that is an illegal turn, you turn it up. You know.
I'm gonna Okay, you said this individual was a police officer?
Yeah, he was tall, about 6'4", blonde hair, real tall, yeah. And he just waved the cars out. He waved about 50 cars up out of here. You know, like, yeah.
Did you see any policemen there in the parking lot? Say, as you were leaving the museum, had the shooting already gone down, or was it until you actually walked a little ways inside the parking structure?
Yeah, when I was coming down the stairs.
Okay.
When I was there, seeing Biggie, you know.
Okay.
Later, you know, they just got on. Then I was over here. We was talking about football, you know, Keyshawn.
Oh, Keyshawn's side, and that's right here, waiting for your car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the crowd came around.
Keyshawn Johnson.
This is a song about a breakup.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
By the time, about 10 minutes.
10 minutes when you
They
saw
finna
people
take
rushing
the whole goddamn in this area.
Okay. Did you see any policemen anywhere around any?
Hey man. This nigga, these ass are nerve wracking. Woo! Hey. Hey. What I was gonna say? They finna take down the NFL. That motherfucker got goddamn Keyshawn Johnson. He said we over here talking about football, you know, cause of Keyshawn. Why Biggie getting murdered? Y'all talking about football with Keyshawn Johnson? It shit might as well been on ESPN. Hey, I know Madden 27 better have Biggie smiles on that motherfucker. I tell you that. Fuck Keyshawn motherfucking Johnson. This shit better have goddamn bigger smiles than Tupac on these motherfuckers. P. Diddy, Suge Knight, Keefe D too. I want to play Madden 27. I want to play Madden 27 goddamn Tupac edition. Cause what you mean? What you mean? What the fuck do Keyshawn Johnson? I knew Keyshawn Johnson was fucked up when he whooped his own teammate ass at practice. Y'all remember that when Keyshawn Johnson whooped his teammate ass at practice? Y'all don't remember? Let me show y'all. Keyshawn Johnson jumped on his own teammate. I think he hit that nigga with a helmet. Now see Keyshawn. You shouldn't. Oh, you should have told us about this, Keyshawn. You should have told her about this. That way we could have got behind you. Hold on. They trying to tie another goddamn. Yeah. Keyshawn Johnson. This you right here. Hold on, wait a minute. Are you beefing with Warren Sapp and shit? This Keyshawn Johnson right here, y'all.
Always quick to turn on players who don their own jerseys. And ask any Bucks fans who is the most hated player in franchise history, you'll receive a variety of answers ranging from Michael Clayton, Josh Freeman, Keyshawn Johnson, and even sometimes Warren Sapp. But Sapp is probably more hated due to personality issues. That being said, the latter two played an instrumental part in the Buccaneers' first ever Super Bowl title in the 2002 season. And while the two were able to achieve the ultimate success in the game of football, the road to the end of the tunnel was a bumpy one that saw both stars on the team clash. As of more recently, the two were able to set aside their past, but this was a beef that spanned for over a decade, well beyond their playing days, and included both players attacking each other in the media, even after
Warren
retirement.
Sapp called Keyshawn Johnson a
I know you
bitch.
were a bitch, and thanks for making it all worthwhile.
He called Keyshawn
Guys,
a
before we
bitch.
begin, make sure you turn on all notifications, as many of you have complained that you're not seeing my. And they were led by NFL Offensive Player of the Exceptions, a missed field goal, a failed so you could.
Playing on iPhone?
This is crazy. We're gonna get back to the trial, shot, but I'm just listening to this shit like, goddamn, y'all got Keyshawn Johnson up in this shit. It was like shit going on back when we were young. That's why they say stay in the child play.
No, yeah, okay, I'll make this phone call on. Okay. Man. I appreciate it, Keith. I appreciate, because I'd like to talk to you again, and we'll call the regular attorney, and you have no problem? I got no problem. Okay, I just want to come tell them I'm running this. Sure.
No call, good, thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, hi. It's over too? You want another truck? Oh, okay. Okay. In the testament, so I have no time whatsoever. Friday, today, we have access to that. Which one? But, I told you, advantage one, maybe, is the only difference you have. Otherwise, you just forget that money. Otherwise, you just spend your work. But I'll talk to you later. Yes, I'm at the police department. Yeah, I'll get that.
All right, who's your next witness?
Thomas Kern.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
First name is Thomas, Thomas. Last name is Kern, Kern.
Thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Giacomo, you may proceed.
Thank you. Sir, how are you currently employed?
I work for Customs and Border Protection at the Chicago Laboratory as a latent fingerprint examiner.
We're going to take you back 30 years ago. Okay. 30 years ago, what were you doing for a living?
I had just started here as a crime scene analyst. I was in my first year.
What does a crime scene analyst for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department do?
Basically, it's a response to like crime scenes to recover evidence that was potentially left behind during the incident. Things like burglaries, we would go look for fingerprint evidence, maybe sometimes broken glass, those sort of things, and we would collect that from the scene and bring it back to the lab for potential use later.
Did you have a field training officer on September 7th or September 13th, I guess it is, of 1996?
I did.
And who was that?
David the Master. That's Lemaster.
Do crime scene analysts respond to the coroner's office for autopsies to document the body and collect any evidence that the doctor pulls out during the course of an autopsy?
Yes.
And were you present at the autopsy with Dave Lemaster for the autopsy of Tupac Shakur?
I was.
May I approach, Judge?
You may.
I'm going to start with state proposed exhibits 44 to it's like 56 there. Just want you to flip through those. I don't remember what my first number was. 44 through 54, are those all depictions of Mr. Shakur, well, his body bag, as well as Mr. Shakur during the course of the autopsy, documenting both tattoos and injuries to Mr. Shakur?
Yes, sir.
And then 55 and 56, it is two sides, I'll say, of what looks like a bullet and a fragment that was removed from his body at time of autopsy. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I'm going to show you what's been marked as state proposed exhibit number 128. From looking at that, does that appear to be an impound done by Dave Lemaster from the autopsy of Mr. Shakur in September of 1996?
It is.
And flip it over here. Why don't you explain to ladies and gentlemen of the jury how evidence is collected?
So this is a typical evidence collection bag, and on the front there's information that you would complete and fill out that would be relevant to the investigation you're working on. So I know that this is David's paperwork. We are assigned a personnel number when we start the job, and David's personnel number was 4243 as his first initial, last initial, and that's about here in the center of this information. When we collect the evidence, we're supposed to put a seal on the reverse, and the seal has to remain intact throughout the investigation. That also has David's initial and personnel number and the date that was collected.
And so it appears that nobody's opened this since David impounded it 30 years ago.
That's correct.
Judge, I offer 44 through 56 and 128.
Any objection? They will be admitted.
Thank you. I pass the witness.
Okay. Cross-examination, Mr. Sampson.
I have no cross.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you so much. Have a good day. You are excused, Mr. Quinn. seat. Who's your next witness?
Dr. Lisa Gavin.
Okay.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Good morning. I'm Dr. Lisa Gavin, Lisagavin.
Thank you, Dr. Gavin. Mr. DiGiacomo, you may proceed.
Doctor, how are you employed?
I'm a forensic pathologist, medical examiner here in Clark County.
What does that mean you do for a living?
We determine the cause of death and the manner of death and sudden unexpected deaths.
And in order to hold the position that you do with the coroner's office, do you have certain education, training, and background?
Yes.
And explain that to ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
I went to medical school at the University of Connecticut School of Medicine. I did a pathology residency at Hartford Hospital in Connecticut. I did a surgical pathology fellowship at Hartford Hospital in Connecticut. I did a forensic pathology fellowship in the Office of the Medical Investigator in New Mexico, and then I came here to Clark County. I have a medical license to practice here in the state of Nevada, and I'm board certified in anatomic pathology and forensic pathology.
How long overall have you been a forensic pathologist?
This September, it'll be about 17 years practicing here.
So I'm going to guess that 30 years ago, you were not at the autopsy of Tupac Shakur.
No, I was in medical school.
Have you in the past had to come in and testify to your opinions as to cause and manner of death in cases where you weren't the actual examiner at the table?
Yes.
Explain why that would happen.
We have people that have retired. We have doctors that have died. We have doctors that have gone to other locations in the country.
So when you are asked to review, what is it that you get to review in order to form your opinions and conclusions?
Most often it would be the investigation report from our office. It would be the autopsy report from the forensic pathologist that did the case. It could be photographs associated with the case, could be medical records associated with the case, could be any consultations or the like associated with the case.
In this particular case, do you know who the examiner was?
Yes.
Who was
it? It was Dr. Jordan.
And Dr. Jordan is no longer with us, correct?
Correct. Dr. Jordan had passed away.
In addition to what the medical examiner's office had, did you also get a copy of the photographs taken by crime scene analysts during the course of the autopsy?
Yes.
And did you utilize those as well to render your opinions?
Yes.
I'm going to start with what's been previously admitted as State's Exhibit number 44. Now, as long as you don't click that mouse, there should be a nice little arrow that comes up and you can point to it. What are we looking at in State's Exhibit 44?
In the background is a green body bag, and the way that we sealed the body bag to preserve the body as evidence is we put this little blue tag through the eyelets of the zippers as they come together to demonstrate that the body was received, placed into that sealed body bag, and then received in the office with that seal intact at that time. Similarly, we also attached onto that area what will become the toe tag, the identifying marker for that particular body, that particular individual.
I zoom in on that. We're able to see that the name was Lassane Crooks, aka Tupac Shakur, date of death 9/13/96 at approximately 1600 or 4 p.m.
That's correct.
45. What are we looking at, Doctor?
This is just opening up of the body bag, and then one of the first photos that was taken at the time that the body bag was opened, demonstrating the decedent and the condition that he was received in and the body bag.
And from reviewing the medical records that were part of the coroner's office file, did it appear that Mr. Shakur had survived his wounds for some period of time?
Yes.
And a lot of what we see on these photographs are evidence of medical intervention.
That's correct.
046. This is a facial shot. I know there's a ruler in the way, but this is a facial shot of Mr. Shakur.
Oh, that's correct.
And then we're not going to display all of his tattoos, but there were photographs taken. This is 47 to identify his various tattoos.
Correct.
So you can see on his right stomach there that says thug. And then if we go to 48, on the other side, it says Lyfe. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So now I want to get to his injuries. And I'm going to start with, well, I'll start with 49. What are we looking at here?
This is the right side of the body up by the chest area. You can see the right axilla or armpit in that region. And then you could see some of the sutures of what they call a thoracotomy incision, where they've cut into the side of the chest. And then just below that, this is an entrance gunshot wound.
And then just below that thoracotomy chest, there appears to be a stitched up area. I can move my mouse too, right there. What is that?
That's a sutured chest tube site.
So he had a tube there to help drain some of what was going on in his body.
Correct. And in the previous one that had all the medical intervention, you could see from the left side, there was a similar chest tube on that left side.
From your review, were you able to determine sort of the path of this particular bullet?
Yes.
And what was that?
It entered here in the right lateral aspect of the chest, just below the axilla, the armpit, and then went across the right chest space, went across the right lung, and then ended up coming to rest in what we call the sternal notch. The sternal notch is a location just between where your collarbones kind of meet up towards the center of your chest. So just beneath that, the projectile was recovered.
The nature of that type of wound, what did it physically do to him, his ability to breathe and those types of things?
So the injury to the lung would have collapsed the lung and also caused the lung to bleed. And so it was documented within the medical records that he had about 2 liters of blood in his chest cavity when they put in the chest tube to try to save him. And similarly, they ended up removing that lung to try to save him and kind of clamp off the bleeding. And then it already had multiple episodes of not becoming responsive. So he wasn't able to breathe. He was bleeding out in that area from that injury.
Additionally, I guess I should have asked this when I was back on some of the prior pictures. We're going to see a lot of pictures, or we have seen some pictures of Mr. Shakur while he's alive. We're going to see some video of him alive. He certainly looks a lot skinnier in those pictures than he does in these pictures. Is there a reason why he's so bloated in these photographs?
After they've been on the life support system, you end up not being able to circulate the fluid in the body that they're trying to give you. And so it kind of seeps into the tissues, and it makes your tissues look kind of bloated and literally bloated.
I'm going to move on to his next wound, State's Exhibit number 51. What are we looking at here?
This is the right lateral aspect of his body, so his right flank and his lateral aspect of his right thigh. And then his backside of his right hand is also within this picture.
The ruler, though, is identifying what?
The ruler is around the right lateral aspect of his thigh, so the right thigh on the lateral side.
And what is that?
And that's an entrance gunshot wound.
And can you tell me the path that bullet took?
Yes.
And go ahead.
That bullet entered in the lateral aspect of the right thigh, and then
At Fiverr, we know that vibe coding can be a lot of fun until it's not. From back-end integration to product polish, Fiverr's got the experts to bring your product to life. Hire an expert today on Fiverr.
State's exhibit number 52, and you can see it in 51, but now the ruler is on, oops, try that again. Now the ruler is on that lower mark. Describe that for us.
this is like the lateral aspect of his body, or his right flank. And this wound does not penetrate into the body, but it kind of causes this deeper abrasion in this area. So this could be from like a spent projectile that might have hit something else and then hit his body, so it lost its momentum to be able to penetrate into his body further. So it kind of hit this area and created this wound on the side of his body.
Were there evidence within the medical records that Mr. Shakur had received bullet wounds sometime prior to the injuries that caused his death?
He had some scars in other areas of his body that were suggestive of that.
State's exhibit number 53. What are we looking at?
This is the back of his right hand, and on the ring finger, he has an entrance gunshot wound. This path goes through the hand and goes through that finger and then fractures that bone right by the ring finger area.
And 54, 054. What are we looking at?
This is the exit aspect of that wound that we saw the entrance to on the back of the hand, and it kind of exits out the underside and partly in the webbing between those fingers.
Now, you mentioned that during the surgery, UMC would have recovered one bullet, and then autopsy, another bullet was recovered?
That's correct.
So as it relates to the autopsy, showing you State's exhibit number 55. What are we looking at here?
This is the projectile that was recovered during the autopsy. This was the one underneath the sternal notch to which I referred earlier.
And just so the jury understands these when they get the back room, that's the same bullet. It's just taken from the opposite side.
Yes, we take multiple angles of those projectiles, photos of multiple angles.
Your Honor, just for the record, what exhibit number is this one?
Mr. DiGiacomo?
56.
Okay.
Now, Doctor, in addition to not only the photographs, were there other records identifying Mr. Shakur within the coroner's office records?
We have both some medical records and some photographs, as well as the autopsy report, the investigation report, and the toxicology report as well.
Did you also have an affidavit from Mr. Shakur's mother indicating that's her son and he's dead?
Yes.
And were there also postmortem fingerprints taken to confirm that information?
Yes.
After reviewing all of those records, do you have an opinion as to the cause of death of Mr. Shakur?
Yes.
And what is that?
He died of gunshot wounds of chest and abdomen.
And do you have an opinion as to the manner of death?
Yes.
And what is that?
Homicide.
When a medical examiner uses the term homicide, what does that mean?
The simplest form is death at the hands of another.
Thank you. I pass the witness.
Cross-examination, Mr. Sant.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Dr. Gavin, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Just a couple questions. Your testimony here today revolves really around your review of the record.
that was laid out 30 years ago.
Yes, that's correct.
And so fair to say, of course, that keeping records would be very important in your line of work.
Yes.
In the event that in the future, something that you do while you're on vacation somewhere in the Bahamas could be testified to by another doctor.
That's correct.
Now, with regards to the records that you saw here, Dr.
Jordan.
Was there anything missing in your review of those records in terms of record keeping or anything like that?
No, but we only took a few photos at the time of autopsy. At that time, they used Polaroids or they used film and cameras. And so we had few photos of the body itself. And so consequently, the crime scene analyst photos were helpful for being able to come to determination in addition to the reports.
Right. So the way we're able to explain it to the jury today is that you reviewed the record as well as any photographs were taken at the time of the autopsy.
That's correct.
Okay. And once again, going back again to my original question, though, is that was there anything at all in review of Dr. Jordan's records or record keeping that would have indicated to you something that should have been done differently with regard to Dr. Jordan's work?
No, nothing that I could see in my review.
Okay, and fair enough to say, though, that you're not really there to critique his work as much as it is to relay what you read in the record to a jury like the people that we have here today.
But that's fair.
And once again, a critical review of someone's record is a little bit different compared to just reading what was done and then relaying that to a jury.
Yes.
Okay. What is the difference?
I think the scrutiny that you can utilize in those kind of details may be something that becomes relevant for a particular case.
Right. So, for instance, if there was some issue, some dispute over whether or not he was given adequate medical treatment, that would be something for another day, for another topic, and another type of review, right?
That would be for somebody that actually does treatment of bodies. I'm a forensic pathologist, so I'm a medical examiner, so I review people after they've died. So that would be treatment related to whomever does that type of treatment.
Now, would you have been able to do this type of review if Dr. Jordan had not kept an adequate record of his efforts?
It depends on what you have available for review.
Say, for instance, there's no record at all. He doesn't do a record, he does some work, but you don't have anything other than maybe the pictures in this case. Would that be enough of a review for you?
Photographs can be very helpful in terms of determining what happened to the body, and then in terms of where the locations of injuries are, based on my knowledge of anatomy in the body, I can definitely generate opinions based on that.
Sure, but with regards to, say, his work in general, outside of the fact that you could point out location of where there's entry and exit wounds, for instance, from a bullet, outside of that, would you be able to tell this jury exactly what Dr. Jordan had done with regards to his autopsy?
What he did for his exact procedures? No.
Okay. And in the event that you don't even have that, say, for instance, you're coming in here today and the question is, well, did Tupac Shakur die of bullet wounds? Would that be something that you could just tell a jury like this without even looking at a record or photographs?
We would need some kind of record in order for me to be able to generate an opinion, or some kind of photographs for me to be able to generate an opinion.
And fair to say then, once again, that in your line of work, record keeping, record writing is critical to maintain the integrity of what you do as a coroner.
Yes.
No further questions, John. Thank you.
Any redirect, Mr. Giacomo?
Man, Mr. Sam suggested, I just want to make it clear, you're not regurgitating Dr. Jordan's opinions. You've formulated your own opinions as the cause and manner of death.
That is correct.
Thank you.
One final question based on Mr. Giacomo's. And fair to say, though, in order for you to do that, you have to rely on Dr. Jordan's documentation of what he did.
I relied on his documentation as well as the other documentation that I talked about, which was medical records as well as photographs.
Thank you. No further questions.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? We have one more that we're waiting for. I have the parties approaching. All right, Dr. Gavin, we have a few questions from our jurors. Were there any wounds to the head that you or Dr. Jordan observed or noted?
No, there were not.
And then were all the bullets found of the same caliber?
I don't know what the caliber of the other bullet was, the one recovered at surgery.
Okay, state any follow-up based on those questions.
Do you even know what the caliber of the bullet was that was covered at autopsy?
No, I don't know this caliber.
Is that something that is not in your realm of determination?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Sam?
Doctor, I'm assuming you're probably going to say I don't know, but are you aware that if any Metropolitan Police officer or expert came forward to take a look at those fragments that we're looking at now, or any other fragments that were recovered from the body?
No, I don't know.
You don't know that?
I don't know whether or not somebody did that.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, thank you for being with us, Dr. Gavin. You are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next witness.
Just before we call the next witness, I have in my hand State Proposed Exhibit number 59, which is a certified copy of Marion Should Knight's medical records from UMC that night.
Any objection to the admission of those records, Mr. Sam?
No, you're not.
All right, those will be admitted.
I apologize, I don't know his name, but he is the custodian of records for MGM surveillance.
Okay.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Michael Ingram, Michael Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Mr. Giacomo, whenever you're ready.
Sir, how are you employed?
I work as an investigator for MGM Resorts.
What area at MGM Resorts do you have a certain job responsibility?
I have responsibility over surveillance and security surveillance and investigations.
Were you requested to come here to authenticate some video that was collected well back in 1996 from the MGM?
Yes, I was.
And have you had a chance to see any of that surveillance?
Yes, I have.
Did MGM keep a copy as well?
Yes, they have.
Okay, so you reviewed that.
Yes.
Judge, I have in my hand State Proposed Exhibit number 115, which is that video I'd offer.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay, that'll be admitted.
So I have three different camera views, three different files, I'll call it, that we're going to talk about. But back in 1996, can you describe the type of surveillance system we're looking at? Like, how is it, what medium was it originally recorded on?
At that time, it was recorded on VHS.
And did MGM reuse tapes every so often?
Yes.
And so when you reuse tape, did you lose quality each time you kind of reused it over and over again?
Yes, the quality deteriorated.
So unlike today that's digital, some of these views that we're going to watch, it's going to be pretty hard to facially identify anybody. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I want to start with, I just mark next in order.
I need to switch it over.
I know, I just remember if it's at the top or the bottom. There's two blues. Oh, this one? Yes, this one's over. There you go.
It doesn't work that way.
All right. I'm going to show you the State Proposed Exhibit number 144. You recognize what that is?
Yes, that's the MGM grant.
Is that currently the way the MGM Grand looks?
The general layout of the the casino or the hotel, yes, it's the names have changed and stuff, but
Okay.
the property is the same.
So we don't know if this is from 1996 or if it's from 2002, 2010, when in the last 30 years, but generally the layout's been the same.
Correct.
Put this up, ladies and gentlemen, the jury.
Your Honor, if I could,
Oh, I moved to a bit 144.
before we move to admit, can I just ask a couple more questions of this witness with regards to this?
You'd like to voir dire on this issue? You may.
Sir, with regards to the photograph that's been marked as proposed State Exhibit 144, can you tell me if you can read the locations that are on that particular map?
I can read most of them. There's one that's a little fuzzy to me.
Sure. And in terms of your review of the surveillance video from the MGM, fair to say that what we're about to see would indicate where the camera location was, including the name of the area that would correlate with what you have out there on the map?
As a general rule, yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll have no further questions.
Any objection then to
No
the admission of it? It'll be admitted. State, you may proceed.
There's actually two areas of this I want to talk to you about before we show the video. Maybe more than that. Generally speaking, events like the Tyson-Selden fight, where would that have occurred at?
The MGM Grand Garden, which is located at the top of the screen.
Up here, okay. We have an elevator view that we're going to see. Where is that located on this?
In the screen, there's three small boxes. Those,
right here?
Yes, those are the elevator core for the MGM Grand.
And then if there's a camera that's going to say food court, that's kind of that's looking down a long hallway. Which hallway are we looking at?
The white box, yeah, you're going to be following that basically to the Grand Garden Arena.
So when you come out of this box, you can either come down here or across the casino, essentially.
Correct.
So now I'm going to start with, if we can go back to me.
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible.
Nina can't code.
Interesting. Can it generate reports?
I can now.
Nice.
So you're saying we can all build apps now?
Yeah.
I'm on lunch. I gotta make a call.
I'll be right back.
Just built an inventory tracker. Protein calculator. Book sharing app.
A workflow manager that
Tracks who still owes for the group lunch.
trash duty schedule.
Since no one seems to care.
Just built a
I just
performance
created a
manager.
goal track.
And I'm going to stop her maybe a little farther. This person right here, we're going to see in some of our other videos wearing a Dan Marino Miami Dolphins jersey. You probably know that, but for ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that's the person that we're trying to follow. Is that accurate? Or do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. Now we have another camera view of this long hallway. From this, can you tell generally where in that hallway it is, or once again, we're just somewhere on that white hallway?
Somewhere along that white hallway.
And, well, he just flashed.
That
So let me stop it here. On these VHS tapes, cameras would flash between different hallways.
That technology was in effect during that time frame.
Called multiplex back in those days.
Correct.
So sometimes we jump from camera view to camera view, trying to capture what we're trying to capture.
Correct.
We can see the 13 on this jersey right here with the gentleman walking behind him. Now I'm going to take you to 115B. I don't know why it did that. All right, we're going to use a different program so we don't watch it sideways. And I'll turn my volume off because there's no volume. Now this is that elevator core that we saw. We switch over to me for a second.
Over to you? You mean the dot cam?
Yeah. So as opposed to those other views that were somewhere in here, now we're down in the middle of these four, and there's a tree in the middle of these four.
Correct.
Is that tree still there?
No.
And unlike the other camera, this one is a movable camera that goes back and forth.
Correct.
Go back to you.
Yeah. So this one starts at 2043 or so, and I'm going to jump forward to about 2047. This is just people walking through that elevator area, correct?
Correct.
Close enough. We'll start at 2046-33.
One Life family. So I'm trying to figure out what they want us to see. Right?
And in the event that you don't even have that, say for instance, you're coming in here today, and the question is, well, did Tupac
The gentleman in white shirts, are they security guards, and the gentleman in tan shirts, Metro Police?
Podcasting shouldn't stress you out. Stop.
You don't need a complicated setup to record a great conversation.
Pause it there for a second. Once again, it appears that the victim of the beating was wearing that 13 merino shirt.
Yes, sir.
It's crazy because all of these people were present the night this popped off. I'm talking about just innocent bystanders. People that was just there to enjoy the Mike Tyson fight. Mike Tyson fight. It's the night that popped. This is deep, y'all. You're talking about Mike Tyson having a fight in Vegas the same night that Tupac Shakur jumps on Orlando Anderson and loses his life 30 years ago. For 30 years, they didn't give a damn about the Tupac case. They didn't care about what happened to Tupac. They were just swept under the rug. It took this idiot to go out here and incriminate himself, write a book, do interviews and things of that nature before it even raised the smallest attention. After the Mike Tyson fight in September 1996, Tupac would lose his life. But we ain't gonna act like he ain't lose his life for putting his hands on a nigga though. Back then, I told you I ain't understand shit back then, but I understand now. You can't be putting your hands on no goddamn body. I don't know why the fuck they playing this. They lost me with it. Am I tripping or like what the fuck is they want us to see? Okay, they said Buddy with the 13 jersey on. Okay. Okay.
2055 or so.
Okay. All that to see that part. I remember them talking about the dude with the 13 jersey on.
When you watch the cameras, after we're done, I'm going to ask you generally where those people that we see leaving the area of the elevator after the fight, where they go. This is 115C. So is that the main casino floor outside the elevators?
Correct.
some bullshit. I ain't gonna hold you, shout. When I'm looking at this shit now as a grown ass man, Papa Porter got his ass fucked up. I ain't gonna hold you, shout. As a grown ass man, shout, y'all did this shit. Look. This was street shit. It was street shit. Them niggas deep as fuck.
Doors that they appear to be exiting. Can you generally tell me where that leads out to?
The lion entrance.
Turn it up loud. I want to go fast.
That's the. I'm sorry, I was confused. Out to the hotel registration area, and then out to the Port of Kashir.
And do you know whether or not back in '96 there was a valet there?
Yeah, no, I don't know if there was an exact valet or what it was called at the time.
Thank you, sir. Judge, I pass the witness.
Mr. Smith, cross-examination.
Thank you, Honor. Sir, you are an investigator with the MGM, correct?
MGM Resorts, the whole company.
So it would be MGM as well as the other properties on the ship?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm assuming you're more than just yourself doing the investigations?
Correct.
Okay. May I have that document? May I approach on it?
Yeah.
I'm going to publish this again for the jury. States Exhibit number 44. All right. A couple questions. As the investigator or a investigator, how long have you been doing that line of work for?
14 years.
Did you have any previous law enforcement experience before you became an investigator for MGM?
No.
And then with regards to your training as an investigator for the MGM, are you trained in how to do an investigation?
Yes.
Okay. And that would be something that would be not necessarily law enforcement, but it would just be to protect the properties that MGM owns.
Yes.
Okay. So with regards to the training that you have, is one of the things that you do in terms of training, learning how to write proper reports?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us why that's important?
Documentation for future reference. You're time stamping an event in that moment that you are investigating it.
And fair to say that with regards to report writing, it helps you later refresh your recollection if you're ever unlucky enough to be sitting in this chair facing towards these people, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In this case, you were asked to retrieve this video that was what we've all seen right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you have to write a report for that?
No.
Now, you had shared with us earlier that you had reviewed the videos. Anything about the review of the videos that would have required you to put it into a report?
No.
Okay. And you were going to, I must have cut you off. You were going to say something. Did you want to finish?
I did not, like you said that I provided this video.
Yes.
I did not provide this video.
Okay. So, and once again, we want to make sure that we're accurate, right? So what is your role in this whole thing and what you did here?
The video that we all reviewed, to be able to say that it's MGM Grand's video, that's MGM Grand's location, and whatever you guys want to talk about inside of the video.
Right. So in terms of you verifying it, was it just you looking at the video and saying, yes, that's the casino floor of the MGM?
Yes.
In terms of the date and time, for instance, you're just relying on what's date stamped and time on the actual video that you watched, right?
Yes.
I mean, you don't have any other way of verifying any of the time and date in this case outside of what's time stamped on the video, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that's not a trick question. I just want to make sure it's like, yeah, you're good. But in terms of the case itself, was there an internal number that was assigned by the MGM property specifically as to this event in September of 2000 or 1996?
I don't know that answer.
So when you were asked to review the videos, do you know if there were any reports that were written by MGM security or MGM investigators like yourself on September 7th, 1996 with regard to this event?
I don't know that answer.
Now, in addition to that, you were asked to look through the video. Were you ever asked to locate anyone based upon the video that you saw in this case?
No.
All right. And the way the surveillance worked back then, right? I'm assuming you weren't, that was 14 years ago. So that would have been, you were there in 2012.
Technically, I got hired in 2010.
2010. All right. So this is another, take a step back, another 14 years prior to you working there. We heard testimony that the recording system was all VHS based.
Yes.
If you could describe for the jury, right? So you have a control room, I'm assuming, with all these monitors that are on there.
Yes, sir.
And there's multiple people that are probably looking at different quadrants or areas of the casino.
They're looking at different monitors. Yes, sir.
Okay. And some of them are concerned with, like, say, cheating on the tables and that kind of thing, right?
That is a different team altogether.
I see.
You have your security team and you have your gaming surveillance team.
I see. So so as a security team, you're just tasked with safety on the premises.
Correct.
Okay. And so in this case, when those cameras are going around, they're going around automatically until such time as somebody in the control room looks and says, "Oh, there's something going on right here," and then manually focuses the camera over there.
Some of the cameras, yes.
Okay. And even if the person in the room is not seeing it, sometimes they'll get a call from security saying, "Hey, we've got a situation over by the elevator banks," and then that would draw someone's attention to that monitor and move the camera over to that area.
Yes, sir.
Now, is the person that's operating the camera at that point in direct contact with the security team that is down below, like in this case, in the elevator area?
Yes, sir.
So they would be communicating back and forth about whatever it is that would be going on that would be helpful for everybody to know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in this particular case, you have obviously a lot of people on the property.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you're too young for this, but I mean, this was fight night, right? Mike Tyson against Bruce Seldon.
Yes, sir.
Is that typical? Like, is that a typical amount of people on the MGM property?
In my experience, yes, that's a typical of fight night that you would have.
Right. So nowadays it's UFC or, some type of championship thing with somebody, I don't know. But once again, championship level sort of thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Not an everyday.
Not an everyday thing.
All right. And obviously there's a ton of people that are there. We see at some point the group that is attacked the individual run.
Yes,
And they
sir.
run out of the area. And I want to make sure the jury understands. So going back here again here to State's Exhibit number 144, the area where the attack happens is right here. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And this is right next to it. It just says elevator core, right?
Yes, sir.
Now we talked a little bit about where they exited, and you had mentioned somewhere, but I just want to make sure I'm clear as to where that would have been. Can you tell the jury where they exited?
From what I observed, it.
Sir, just so that you know, you could actually take that mouse that's right there and just move it around.
Can't when he's on the dock cam.
They
All right,
changed
Donna
it.
pointed out.
Usually they can, but
All right. Just go ahead and just describe it, and I'll just point it out.
He appears to have traveled initially after the altercation. He appears to travel north up into the casino area, around that area, and then